The 2025 Formula One grid will have a lot of changes after a crazy, silly season last year. There are some fresh faces, but with these fresh faces, we'll have to bid adieu to a few familiar ones. One of the faces that will not be present on the F1 grid in 2025 is Franco Colapinto. But this is certainly not goodbye. Despite not racing in 2025, Williams seems to have a concrete plan to bring back Colapinto in the near future. Franco Colapinto entered the F1 grid during the second half of the 2024 season. He was chosen to replace Logan Sargent, who had cost the team millions of dollars in damages, and was not able to keep up with his teammate Alex Albon's pace. After just one race in the Williams car, Franco Colapinto started to impress everyone in the paddock. In just his second race, Franco went on to finish 8th, scoring 4 points for the team. His predecessor, Logan Sargent, scored only 1 point in the 1.5 years he was racing for Williams. So Colapinto's 8th place finish at Baku was considered to be very impressive. He would once again go on to score points in Austin, where he finished 10th. Following these performances, there were teams who were seriously considering Colapinto to be in their lineup for the 2025 season. However, as the year came to an end, Franco was not able to seal the deal with any of the teams. But things aren't over yet. After the 2025 grid was final, Williams team principal James Vowles made it clear that he has a clear plan for Franco and will look to bring him back into the F1 grid soon. As for this year, Vowles stated that Franco would be running an older Williams car to keep himself familiar with the nature of the F1 cars. The last thing the team would want is for Colapinto to lose touch with driving an F1. We'll have an historic car, a 2-year-old car. He'll be running that plenty to get a lot of speed. I've done this before in a previous life with Esteban Ocon when he took a year out. Effectively, Esteban's here today and still a strong driver. There are things we can do effectively around it to maintain his strength, he added. Before Vowles was appointed as the team principal for Williams Racing in 2023, he served as the Motorsport Strategy Director for the Mercedes F1 team. During this time, Esteban Ocon found himself without a seat in F1 after being let go by Racing Point. During the 2019 season, James worked with Ocon to keep him close to the sport by having him test the older Mercedes cars. And then in 2020, Ocon came back to the grid to drive for Renault, who loaned him from Mercedes. Now Ocon is a race winner and has stood on the podium 4 times. So Vowles is looking to do something similar with Colapinto as well. But when he does come back, which team would he race for? Williams has signed a multi-year contract with both Alex Albon and Carlos Sainz. If all goes well with these two drivers, Williams will want to retain this lineup for the long term. So where will Colapinto go? One team that has continuously shown interest in Colapinto, despite having a lineup for 2025, is Alpine. For this year, Alpine will have Pierre Gasly and a rookie, Jack Doohan, in their cars. However, it's speculated that Doohan's contract with Alpine is not for the entire season. Only if the Australian driver is able to perform in the first 5 races, he will get a guaranteed seat with the team for the remainder of the year. If Doohan fails to perform, we could see Colapinto come back to the grid in 2025 itself. Alpine's senior advisor, Flavio Briatore, has shown a lot of interest in having Colapinto in their lineup. Hence, Alpine is a possible destination for the Argentine driver in the near future. Another option for Colapinto would be with the Cadillac F1 team, which is expected to enter F1 in 2026. In 2024, F1 approved General Motors' entry into the sport in principle. If the entry is approved by the FIA as well, GM will enter as Cadillac F1. As a result, there will be 2 extra spots open for F1 drivers. It is suspected that Cadillac would want at least 1 American driver in the team to represent the team's home country, but 2 American drivers may not be the right way to go. So for the second driver, Cadillac could be looking at Franco Colapinto. He has proven that he's quick in F1 and is young enough to grow with the team. But there's still one downside. Despite Colapinto's strong performances with Williams, he did crash his car a few times in the final few races. Given that Cadillac will be a new team if they enter in 2026, they might look for someone who is more reliable and experienced. Another option for Colapinto would be with Williams themselves. Obviously, with Sainz joining the team, there's no room for Colapinto, but the Argentine driver could replace Alex Albon. In the past few years, Carlos Sainz has proved himself to be a strong driver. When he drove for McLaren, he beat Lando Norris and scored a couple of podium finishes. And then, with Ferrari, he was arguably level with his teammate, Charles Leclerc. Both Norris and Leclerc are considered to be the future champions for their respective team. So, with Sainz joining Williams, Albon's performance will be put under a microscope. During the 2025 season, Williams will be directly comparing the performances of both drivers. If Sainz is significantly faster than Albon, the team could be reanalyzing Albon's future with the team, leading to Colapinto's return. In 2024, we saw Colapinto more or less match Albon's pace in both qualifying and the race. Ideally, Albon should have been much faster than Colapinto given that he's been racing in F1 since the 2019 season. Colapinto, on the other hand, just raced for a total of 9 races last year. With some more experience, Franco could be a strong contender for Williams. Let's not forget that Colapinto has been huge for F1 this year. He alone brought millions of fans from Argentina. We saw some of these fans during the Brazilian Grand Prix, cheering them on. But if Colapinto's such a strong driver, why wasn't he chosen by any of the F1 teams for the 2025 season? There were a total of 2 teams who had room to sign Colapinto for 2025. This was VCarb and Kick Sauber. Both these teams were seriously considering the Argentine driver. During the final races of the 2024 season, it seemed likely that Perez would leave Red Bull after the final race due to his poor performances throughout the season. Red Bull promoted Liam Lawson from VCarb, leaving the seat in the sister team open. VCarb's options were Colapinto, Isack Hadjar, and Ayumu Iwasa. But since Colapinto was not a part of the Red Bull Academy, the team quickly dismissed him. Kick Sauber, on the other hand, was considering Franco and Gabriel Bortoleto, who went on to win the 2024 Formula 2 championship. Given that Bortoleto had won both the Formula 2 and Formula 3 championships in his rookie year, Sauber came to the conclusion that he was too exciting a talent for them to miss out on. This is why Colapinto now finds himself without a seat for the 2025 season. Previously, he did speak about racing outside F1 in 2025, but this would not be ideal. Generally, drivers who go racing outside F1 for a year or so do not make it back to F1. The ones who do usually don't perform well, as is the case with many drivers. Right now, Colapinto has a good feel for the F1 car. It would be better if he remains as a reserve driver for Williams and stay close to the sport. Vowles has already revealed that Franco would be testing the team's previous cars to prepare for his return. As he serves as Williams' reserve driver, he'll still make a few FP1 appearances during the 2025 season. He could also step into one of the F1 cars if a driver's unable to race during any of the weekends. Franco could be the new super sub of the 2025 season. Franco Colapinto's journey in Formula 1 may have hit a pause, but it's far from over. His story is a testament to the unpredictability of motorsport and the resilience required to navigate its challenges. Though missing out on a 2025 seat may seem like a setback, it could serve as an opportunity for Colapinto to hone his skills and further cement his place in the F1 conversation. Williams team principal James Vowles has shown unwavering belief in Colapinto's potential. With a structured development plan in place, Franco will remain sharp by regularly testing the team's older machinery and staying involved with the team's operations. This commitment ensures that he won't lose touch with the pace and demands of F1, positioning him as a viable contender for a future race seat. The prospect of Colapinto returning to the grid is bolstered by the sport's expansion and the potential for new opportunities. Whether it's a mid-season call-up with Alpine, a spot with Cadillac F1 in 2026, or even a return to Williams, Colapinto's impressive performances in 2024 have left a lasting impression. Teams know his potential, and fans have rallied around him, particularly in Argentina, where his rise has sparked significant enthusiasm. While the path back to F1 is never guaranteed, Franco has already shown he has the speed and determination to compete at the highest level. His resilience in the face of adversity and his ability to deliver under pressure have set him apart. For now, he remains a crucial part of Williams' future strategy, biding his time and preparing for the moment when the stars align again. For Franco Colapinto, 2025 isn't the end of the road. It's just a pit stop on the way to what promises to be an exciting and impactful career in Formula 1.